Hello, kamusta tayong lahat? I praise the Almighty Father, for He is worthy to be praised and adored. Every day He's giving us blessings upon blessings upon blessings. It is being replenished every day. And so we must thank our Father. And He also sent to us our Savior, Redeemer, the only mediator to the Almighty Father, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, our friend, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the sacrificial Lamb, who gave His life on the cross for the forgiveness of our iniquities. And so, when our Father looks at us, He sees Jesus in our hearts. If we believe in Jesus Christ, if we have faith in Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ is the only begotten Son of the Almighty God, Son of Man and Son of God. Jesus Christ experienced the things we are experiencing. Nevertheless, He loves us. And Jesus Christ is victorious, and so we will also be victorious. And I'm thankful to the Holy Spirit for always guiding us, making us remember our Father, who is good, making us remember our teacher, our example, Jesus Christ, who is the only way, the truth, and the life to the Almighty God. So, last time we read Numbers chapter 5 and Numbers chapter 6. So, pag ang mga tao ay unclean, they will be isolated. Pag merong mga discharge, at pag nakahawak ng mga patay, no, or corpse, nilalabas sa camp. Dahil sa camp, si Almighty Father, He is holy, naninirahan siya in the midst of the children of Israel. And so, yung mga madudumi, hindi pwede si Almighty Father sa mga maduduming mga bagay. Kahit sa kasalanan, hindi siya, mas lalong-lalo na sa abominations, hindi pwede si Almighty Father. Kaya inilalayo, no? Inilalabas sa camp. So yung camp na yun, malaking-malaki yun. Dahil yung bilang nila malaki. So babae man o lalaki, no? Pati na ang mga lalaki kung meron silang mga emission at meron silang mga discharges. At pag nagkakasala ang mga children of Israel, babae man o lalaki, lalapit sila sa... Kanino sila lalapit? Sa priest. At ipoproclaim nila or sasabihin nila or i-confess nila ang kanilang mga kasalanan. Hindi nakatago, hindi binubulong yung kasalanan, ibinubunyag. Dahil magbabayad din sila ng restitution at saka ng trespass in full. So ito ay pera, no? So pag nandaya sila ng kapwa-tao nila, nanakit sila or may nasuntok sila, magbabayad sila 20%. Yung trespass in full plus 20% pa. At yung pera na yun ay ibinibigay sa mga kamag-anak ng nasaktan or naagrabyado na tao. Ng taong nagkasala. Ngayon kung wala namang kamag-anak, yung mga taong nasaktan, wala silang kamag-anak, mapupunta ngayon yung restitution at saka yung 20% sa priest. Pero magbibigay pa rin yung nagkasala ng ram for the atonement of sin. So, ibig sabihin, alam ng mga tao to. Hindi ito nakatago, ibubulong ko sa'yo ang kasalanan ko, ang pagkakasala ko. No? Hindi, ibinubulgar ito para hindi pa marisa, hindi gayahin. Ang alam ko may religion na pag nagkakasala sila, ibinubulong nila, no? Tapos pagkalabas, gagawin ulit nila. Kasi nga, hindi nila ipinaproclaim sa mga tao. Kaya ginagaya ngayon, akala nila, tama yon. Ngayon, pag unfaithful naman ng isang babae at nagduda ang kanyang asawa, nagsiselos yung lalaki, no, na feeling ko nanlalalaki tong asawa kong to. Kung totoo man o hindi, saan pupunta? Sa priest at gagawa ng bitter water yung priest. Kasi nagsiselos yung lalaki, kailangan niya magsumbong sa priest, dadalhin niya yung kanyang asawa dun sa priest para mapatunayan kung nagkasala o hindi. Nagkasala man o hindi, basta nagsiselos yung lalaki, dadalhin niya sa priest. At meron ding requirement, no? 1/10 of an ephah of barley meal. Walang oil, walang frankincense kasi yun ay grain offering of jealousy. Kukuha ng holy water sa earthen vessel o sa palayok yung priest. Pati yung alikabok sa tabernacle ilalagay sa water. Alikabok sa sahig. Tapos tatanggalin yung cover sa ulo ng babae. And then yung water na yun, bitter yun, ano? Kasi holy water nalagyan na alikabok. Tapos magiging bitter yun, mapait. Yun ay may curse. Tapos, sasabihin ng priest na under oath yung babae kung nagkasala ka o hindi. Magiging free ka from the curse of the bitter water. Doon magkakaalaman. At lalaki ang tiyan ng babae at yung thigh niya ay mabubulok, rot. Pag siya ay guilty. Pero pag siya ay guilty, magkakaanak siya pa. So ito, ang epekto nito ay sa reproductive system ng babae. Kasama uterus, fallopian tube. Kasi belly and thigh, ano yung gitna nun? Yung part na yon. So ilalagay sa curse, yung curse sa isang book. Tapos i-scrape yon at ilalagay yon sa bitter water. Meron ng alikabok galing sa tabernacle, sa floor. Yung holy water, lalagyan pa ng curse na galing sa book, i-scrape yon at ilalagay sa bitter water. At papainom sa babae. Ngayon, kung guilty yung babae, lalaki ang kanyang tiyan at mabubulok ang kanyang hita. So, tiyan hanggang hita ang apektado. So, ibig sabihin, yung reproductive system niya, yung babae. Pero, hindi lalaki ang kanyang tiyan at hindi magra-rot ang kanyang thigh kung siya ay hindi guilty. So yun ang law of jealousy when a wife while under her husband's authority, goes astray and defiles himself. So noon pa man, may mga tao na gumagawa ng mga adultery. So hindi lang ngayon, noon pa man, pag nagselos yung lalaki, no, dalhin sa priest. Dahil yung priest, sila ay nagtatrabaho para kay Almighty Father. Hindi sa judge. Kahit yung mga sugat, kanino dadalhin? Sa priest. So lahat kay Almighty Father. Yung paghuhusga sa mga tao, paglilinis sa mga tao, pag-anoint sa mga tao, para gumaling ang mga tao sa kanilang mga sakit, dinadala sa priest. And then yung priest naman, si Almighty Father, ay kinakausap nila, no? Ang chief high priest, yung priest, tapos may chief high priest or high priest, and then si Almighty Father. Pero hindi nakakausap ng high priest si Almighty Father. Ang nakakausap ni Almighty Father ay nung time na to ay si Moses. At kaya lang nalalaman ng mga high priest kung ano ang utos ni Almighty Father ay paggagamit sila ng Urim and Thummim. They cast lots. Yung Urim and Thummim, alam natin, underneath the breastplate, nasa ephod. Tapos isunod naman sa Numbers chapter 6, yung law of Nazarite. Hindi pwedeng magupitan or makalbo ng buhok, hindi pwedeng dumikit sa mga patay kahit na magulang, at hindi pwedeng kumain or uminom ng mga fermented drinks or food. Dapat laging fresh, malinis. Kasi pag tumagal na yung fermented food or drink, may mga langgam na yon, may dumikit na ng mga alikabok, ganon. Kaya hindi pwede, kailangan laging fresh. At hindi pwede uminom or kumain ng grapes. Kaya ang Nazarite, si Samson at si John the Baptist. Camel's hair ang damit ni John the Baptist, mahaba ang kanyang buhok, tapos naka-leather belt siya. Ang kinakain lang niya ay locusts and wild honey. Kaya wild honey, no? Very specific na wild honey. Kasi yung honey, pag tumagal yon, sometimes na-ferment din yon. Kaya wild honey. Fresh yon pag wild honey. Pag nadikit sa patay ang Nazarite, hindi na siya pwedeng maging Nazarite ulit. Kailangan niyang humingi ng tawad kay Almighty Father, kahit hindi niya sinasadya, no? Kasi nadikitan na siya ng kadumihan. Kaya ang gagawin niya ngayon ay merong vow of separation. Hindi na siya pwedeng bumalik sa pagiging Nazarite. Kaya itong si John the Baptist, ingat na ingat si John the Baptist na hindi makasalamuha ang mga tao nga, kasi nga hindi pwedeng madumi kay Almighty Father. Kaya si John the Baptist, nasa wilderness siya lagi. Kahit lumapit sa dead body, hindi pwede. Pag nakalapit siya sa dead body, kakalbuhin niya lahat ng kanyang buhok. Maliligo siya dapat at hindi na siya makakabalik sa pagiging Nazarite. Si Jesus Christ, hindi siya Nazarite. Kaya si Jesus Christ, ang hair niya, maikli. Iba ang Nazarite sa from Nazareth. Yung Nazareth place yon. So si Jesus Christ, He was from Nazareth. Kaya tinatawag si Jesus Christ na Nazarene. Pero hindi siya Nazarite. Magkaiba yung Nazarene sa Nazarite. So yung Nazarite, pag nagkasala na siya, mayroon na siyang vow of who vows to the Lord the offering for his separation, and besides that, whatever else his hand is able to provide according to the vow which he takes, so he must do according to the law of his separation. Pwede na siyang uminom ng wine. Kasi nag-offer na ng wave offering before the Lord yung priest. So may heave offering na. At pag naghihiwalay ang mga tao sa brethren, sa kapwa brethren, the Lord bless you and keep you. Yun ang sinasabi ng mga priest. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious. So it's a blessing. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. So they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Kaya i-bless the Almighty Father ang kanyang mga anak, dahil yung mga priest dito sa Old Covenant or Old Testament, pag i-bless nila ang tao, sasabihin na this is the way you, ang pag i-bless nila ang tao, sasabihin na the Lord bless you and keep you. So, dito na tayo, sa Numbers chapter 7. Yung offerings of the leaders of the tribes of Israel. So, ipipakita na naman natin ang ating drawing. Ano ba ito? Diagram ba to? Ano bang tawag dito? Magulo naman. So, dito, ulitin ko, si Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. Dito sa southern part, Reuben, Simeon, and Gad. Western part, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin. Northern part, Dan, Asher, and Naphtali. No? So, kwinenta ko kung ilang mga tao or 20 years old and above na yung mga abled men na pwede sa war. So, ang pinakamadami na abled men na pwede sa war ay 186,400. Dito sa nasa east ang pinaka madami. Ang pinaka-kaunti ay nandito sa west, 108,100. Ngayon hindi ko maintindihan bakit hindi sila sunod-sunod, no? Pero ang unang binanggit ni Almighty Father ay ang east side, si Judah. Kung east ay Judah, isinunod ay si Reuben naman na malapit sa tabernacle, no? Si Judah malapit sa tabernacle, nasa east. Si Reuben malapit sa tabernacle, nasa west. Nasa south. Si Ephraim nasa west, malapit sa tabernacle. Sa northern part, si Dan nasa malapit sa tabernacle kasi ito ang gitna. So kung ibabasahin natin ang names nila, yung meaning ng names nila, pag ganun ang basa, ha? Mamamakig ka. Pag ganun ang basa, Judah, Reuben, Ephraim, Dan, Issachar, Simeon, Manasseh, Asher, Zebulun, Gad, Benjamin, Naphtali. So pag binasa natin ngayon yon, ito na ngayon ang lalabas. Praise the Son who is fruitful and victorious. He will judge and reward those who heard and will cause to forget pain and be blessed. They will dwell in joy and happiness with the Son of the right hand who experienced tribulations. So, may meaning yung ibig sabihin pala nito, yung pagkakasunod-sunod. Hindi lang basta, dito natin ilagay si Ephraim, si Dan, dito natin ilagay si Judah. May meaning pala yon, kaya ganyan ang nilagay ni Almighty Father na pwesto nila. Una si Judah. Judah means praise. No? Intindihan mo. May test tayo, mama. Ngayon yung offerings ng mga leaders. Dahil bawat isa sa mga tribes na to, may offerings dapat sila kay Almighty Father. Now it came to pass when Moses had finished setting up the tabernacle. So tayo na yung tabernacle. Hindi pa sila umaalis ng Sinai or sa wilderness of Sinai. Andun pa rin, kita pa rin nila yung Mount Sinai or Horeb, Mount Horeb. Andun pa rin sila. Nakastay lang sila doon. Marami sila. Lahat sila nandun. So malawak yung wilderness of Sinai. Now it came to pass when Moses had finished setting up the tabernacle, that he anointed it and consecrated it in all its furnishings, in the altar and all its utensils. So he anointed them and consecrated them. So nandito na lahat ng gamit. Yung utensils, saka yung altar, yung mga furnishings, blines na ni Almighty Father that in-offer na ni Moses kay Almighty Father. And so, blines na ni Almighty Father, no? Itong tuldok dito nakalagay yung Tabernacle of Meeting. So, sa loob ng Tabernacle of Meeting, nandun yung Ark of the Testimony. Doon nakalagay yung 10 Commandments. Andun din yung sa ibabaw, yung mercy seat na nandun yung dalawang cherubim. Merong poles yun, no? Tsaka may veil na yon, yung most holy of holy. Dalawang nakaseparate yung most holy of holies na place ng veil. Doon lang pwede pumasok yung high priest. Yung ibang mga priest hindi sila pwede pumasok sa pinaka most holy na place, kung saan nandun ang Ark of the Testimony. Then the leaders of Israel, the heads of their fathers' houses, who were the leaders of the tribes, and over those who were numbered, made an offering. Nagbibigay sila kay Almighty Father ng offering. And they brought their offering before the Lord, 6 covered carts and 12 oxen, a cart for every 2 of the leaders, and for each one an ox. And they presented them before the tabernacle. So yung cart, 6 carts yon. Sa 6 carts na yon, 2 ox or oxen, 2 ang nandun sa 6 carts. So, ilan lahat yung oxen? 12 yon. Pero yung carts, 6 lang. Sa isang cart, kasya ang 2 oxen. So, present yon sa tabernacle. Then the Lord spoke to Moses saying, accept these from them, that they may be used in doing the work of the tabernacle of meeting. And you shall give them to the Levites, to every man according to his service. So Moses took the carts and the oxen and gave them to the Levites. 2 carts and 4 oxen he gave to the sons of Gershon according to their service. So 2 carts. Pag 2 carts ang meron doon ay 4 oxen, binigay sa mga Gershonites. And 4 carts and 8 oxen, no? Sa 4 carts, ilan ang times 2, so 8 yon. He gave to the sons of Merari according to the service under the authority of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. So si Gershon at saka si Merari under ng authority ni Ithamar. Si Eleazar, ang hawak naman niya ay mga Kohathites. But to the sons of Kohath, he gave none. So walang nakuha ng oxen ang mga anak ni Kohath, because theirs was the service of the holy things which they carried on their shoulder. Sila ang taga-buhat. So ang nagdi-dismantle, no, ang nagdi-dismantle at naghahakot ng mga gamit, nagpe-prepare, nagbabalot, si Merari, ang descendants ni Merari at descendants ni Gershon. Pero ang taga-buhat ay yung descendants ni Kohath. So hindi lang isang tao to. Wala na si Merari, wala na si Gershon, wala na si Kohath, pero yung descendants nila, kasi nga madaming years na ang nakalipas. Patay na sila. Now the leaders offered the dedication offering for the altar when it was anointed. So the leaders offered their offering before the altar. For the Lord said to Moses, they shall offer their offering, 1 liter each day for the dedication of the altar. So, i-dedicate yung altar. Isang araw, isang tribe, isang leader. So, 12 days to. Kasi 12 tribes sila. And the one who offered his offering on the first day was Nashon, the son of Aminadab, from the tribe of Judah. No? Kasi naunang binanggit si Judah, so ito ang unang mag-offer. Yung mga descendants of Judah na pinangungunahan ni Nashon na anak ni Aminadab. Anong in-offer niya? His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels. 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. And for the sacrifice of peace offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Nashon, the son of Aminadab. So kung makapapansin natin, merong sin offering, may burnt offering, may grain offering. No offering yan. Grain offering, burnt offering, sin offering, at saka peace offering. Ayun. So, 4 na klase ng offering ang binigay ni Judah. Yung descendants of Judah. So, yung sin offering, no? Goat, batang goat, kid ang tawag. On the second day, sa pangalawang araw naman, ay si Issachar. Ano naman ang binigay ni Issachar? Yung on the second day, Nathanael, the son of Zoar, leader of Issachar, presented an offering. For his offering, he offered 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering and as the sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Nathanael, the son of Zoar. So, iniisa-isa kung ano ang offering nila. Kahit pare-pareho. So, sa second day yon, offering of Nathanael, the son of Zoar. On the third day, Eliab, the son of Helon, leader of the children of Zebulun, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter with the weight of which was 130 shekels. So, pag nag-offer, kasama yung platter. Maganda yung platter. Silver yon. Sa silver na yon, nandun yung offering. Binibigay din yung silver na yon. Hindi lang yung display. and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. So may laman yung bowl, tsaka yung platter. Silver na, may timbang pa yun, no? Mahalang value nun. Meron pa rong grain offering. Lahat sila na 12 tribes. Both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense. Yung incense, ibibigay yon kasama doon yung 1 gold pan. Doon nakapatong. Ibinibigay din yon. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goat as a sin offering, and for the sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Eliab, the son of Helon. On the 4th day, Elizur, the son of Shedeur, leader of the children of Reuben, presented an offering. So second batch na to, si Reuben na. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. And as a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Elizur, the son of Shedeur. On the 5th day, pang-5 araw naman, Shelumiel, the son of Zurishaddai, leader of the children of Simeon, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. So pare-pareho, no, na napapansin mo, napapansin mo, mama, pare-pareho ng offering. No? Pero gusto nating basahin. Hindi pwedeng copy-paste. Babasahin natin. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. And as a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Shelumiel, the son of Zerushadai. On the 6th day, Eliasaph, the son of Deuel, leader of the children of Gad, presented an offering. 6th day na to. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil, as a grain offering. Yun mo na ito. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. And as a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Eliasaph, the son of Deuel. On the 7th day, pang-7 araw na, Elishama, the son of Amihud, leader of the children of Ephraim, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. Pare-pareho lang ng offering. And as the sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in the first year. This was the offering of Elishama, the son of Amihud. And on the 8th day, Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur, leader of the children of Manasseh, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. Sinasabi ito, no? Hindi lang sinasabi na pare-pareho ng bigay, si Judah, si tribe ni Asher, tribe ni Simeon, pare-pareho lang, naiisa lang, ganito lang ang offering nila, pare-pareho. Kundi kahit na pagkakabanggit sa kanila, ina-itemize pa rin, although pare-pareho ng bigay ng offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, and as a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur. On the 9th day, the 9th day, Abidan, the son of Gideoni, leader of the children of Benjamin, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, or the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. So yung sin offering, pare-pareho sila rin, ano? 1 kid of the goats. And as a sacrifice of peace offerings, pareho din, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Abidan, the son of Gideoni. At the 10th day na, no? Sino na to si Dan? On the 10th day, Ahizur, the son of Ammishaddai, leader of the children of Dan, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, and as the sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in the first year. This was the offering of Ahizur, the son of Ammishaddai. Ito pang 11th na to. On the 11th day, Pagiel, son of Okran, leader of the children of Asher, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, and as the sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in the first year. This was the offering of Pagiel, the son of Okran. And then yung last tribe, on the 12th day, Ahira, the son of Enan, leader of the children of Naphtali, presented an offering. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of the 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. And as a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in the first year. This was the offering of Ahira, son of Enan. So, 12 sila. 12 din pare-pareho yung bilang at yung mga animals na sinasacrifice nila. Each platter weighed 130 shekels, and each bowl 70 shekels. All the silver of the vessels weighed 2,400 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. The 12 gold pans, kaya 12 kasi lahat naman sila nagbigay ng gold pans, full of incense, weighed 10 shekels apiece, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. All the gold of the pans weighed 120 shekels. All the oxen of the burnt offering were 12 young bulls, the rams 12, the male lambs in the first year 12, with their grain offering, and the kids of the goats as a sin offering, 12 din. No? Verse 88. All the oxen of the sacrifice of peace offerings were 24 bulls, and the rams 60, the male goats 60, and the lambs in the first year 60 rin. This was a dedication offering for the altar after it was anointed. Last verse of Numbers chapter 7. Now when Moses went into the tabernacle of meeting to speak to him, makikipag-usap siya kay Almighty Father, he heard the voice of one speaking to him from above the mercy seat. This was on the Ark of the Testimony from between the two cherubim. Thus he spoke to him. So yung Ark of the Testimony, no? Pinagawa ni Almighty Father. Narinig, nakikipag-usap si Moses doon. Pero yung boses na narinig ni Moses, nanggagaling sa above ng mercy seat, dun sa tabernacle mismo, Ark of the Testimony. Doon niya narinig ang boses ni Almighty Father. Nasa gitna ng cherubim, dun mismo. May dalawang cherubim na may wings. Yun yung mercy seat, and then underneath the mercy seat, andun yung parang box na malaki, andun yung 10 Commandments. Sa ibabaw nun, yung sa may gitna ng dalawang cherubim, sa itaas nun, doon yan narinig yung boses ni Almighty Father, ni Moses. Doon yan narinig. Thus he spoke to him. Numbers chapter 8. And the Lord spoke to Moses saying, speak to Aaron and say to him. So, inutusan yung Almighty Father, si Moses uli. Kausapin si Aaron. Hindi nakikipag-usap directly si Almighty Father kay Aaron. Although Aaron was the high priest, hindi siya direkta nakikipag-usap kay Aaron. Nakikipag-usap siya kay Moses. Speak to Aaron and say to him, when you arrange the lamps, the 7 lamps shall give light in front of the lampstand. And Aaron did so. He arranged the lamps to face toward the front of the lampstands, as the Lord commanded Moses. Now this workmanship of the lampstand was hammered gold. For its shaft, its flowers, it was hammered work, according to the pattern which the Lord had shown Moses. So he made the lampstand. Kung matatandaan natin, yung lampstand, isang gold siya, pero pinukpok para magkaroon ng extension. Yung extension na yon, yung naging lampstand. Pero isang gold lang siya buo. Hindi siya hiwa-hiwalay na ito ang magiging stem ng lampstand. Ito ang magiging parang bulb ng lampstand. Itong piraso. Hindi. Buo siya na pinukpok. No? Hammered. Very intricate yung pagkakagawa. Isang gold lang buo. Yun ang utos ni Almighty Father. So yung lampstand, yung lamps dapat nakaharap sa front ng lampstand. Yun ang utos ni Almighty Father kay Moses, yung lamp nakaharap sa lampstand. Di ba may lamp yun? Sa gitna isa, iminora, no? Tapos 3 sa gilid. Dapat lahat sila nakaharap sa lampstand. Iisa lang ang lampstand nun eh. So nakaharap lahat sila sa lampstand. Nakaganon. Hindi, 3 lang yun. 7. Hindi ko kaya sa kamay. Basta nakaharap lahat sila, yung mga kandila, hindi kandila eh. Yung kung saan lumalabas yung apoy. Dapat nakaharap sila sa gitna. Yung apoy, may wick yon, yung wick, galing yun sa balahibo ng sheep. So pag mahaba na yung wick, kailangan ng putulin, merong wick trimmer, parang gunting. Verse 5, Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take the Levites from among the children of Israel and cleanse them ceremonially. So, sabi ni Almighty Father, lahat ng mga Levites, linisin. Maligo sila. Thus you shall do to them to cleanse them, sprinkle water of purification on them, and let them shave all their body. ahit lahat, buo, katawan, tanggal hair, no? Shave all their body, lahat ng body parts na kung saan may hair, tanggalin. Bakit? Bakit tatanggalin? Kasi sa buhok ng tao, sometimes merong kuto. Or doon nagtatago yung mga bacteria, doon nagtatago yung mga dumi, mga alikabok, no? Kung pupunta kayo sa isang maalikabok na lugar, pag naligo kayo, hindi lang katawan ninyo ang malikabok doon, pati mga buhok ninyo, no? At saka, pag may buhok kasi, doon dumidikit yung mga dust mites. Okay? Kaya mag-shave, maligo, and let them wash their clothes, pati damit. So, make themselves clean. So, very visual. Yung gusto ni Almighty Father na malinis ang mga Levites. Then let them take a young bull with its grain offering and of fine flour mixed with oil, and you shall take another bull or young bull as a sin offering. And you shall bring the Levites before the tabernacle of meeting, and you shall gather together the whole congregation of the children of Israel. So you shall bring the Levites before the Lord, and the children of Israel shall lay their hands on the Levites. Yung children of Israel, so marami sila, di ba? Tribe sila. Ngayon, yung Levites nasa gitna, no? Nakikita naman nasa gitna. So, they will lay their hands on the Levites. May dalawang klase ng paglelay ng hands, okay? Mababasa natin dito. And Aaron shall offer the Levites before the Lord like a wave offering from the children of Israel, that they may perform the work of the Lord. Then the Levites shall lay their hands on the heads of the young bulls, and you shall offer one as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering to the Lord, to make atonement for the Levites. Nung una, yung children of Israel, they will lay their hands on the Levites. Pangalawa, anong ginawa? Yung Levites naman, they lay their hands on the heads of the young bulls. Tapos mag-offer sila ng sin offering to make atonement for the Levites. Yung mga children of Israel, syempre, nagkakasala sila, no? So, it's like, pinapasa mo yung kung anong meron ka, kung anong meron yung time na yon sa mga Levites, yung mga children of Israel, kaya nilalay nila yung hands, kung anong meron sila, ipinapasa nila sa Levites. Ngayon, yung Levites naman, nakuha na nila, dahil nilay na sila ng hands, nakuha nila kung ano yung nilay sa kanila ng hands ng mga children of Israel. Kaya ang ginawa naman ng mga Levites, inutos ni Almighty Father, ilalay naman nila ang hands nila sa young bulls as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering. Si Jesus, sa New Covenant, He laid His hand. Pero iba namang paglalay ng ginawa ni Jesus na hand, kundi binigay niya yung kanyang power dun sa tao, kaya nilay niya ng hands. Ngayon, itong mga Levites, yung mga children of Israel, makasalanan sila, di ba? So, hihakot naman ng mga Levites yung kasalanan ng children of Israel. Binibigyan sila ng permission, ibig sabihin. Okay? So, dalawang reason yun kung bakit naglalay ng hands. Kaya, mag-ingat tayo kung sino ang naglalay ng hands sa atin. Mamaya yung naglalay ng hands sa atin, makukuha natin yung dumi. Kasi kung madumi ang naglalay ng hands sa'yo, may papasok sa'yo yung dumi. Ngayon, si Jesus Christ, naglay siya ng hands, malinis siya. Kaya yung kalinisan niya, naipasa niya sa ibang mga tao para gumaling. Naintindihan natin? Naiintindihan ko. Ano nakakaintindi? Then you shall stand, and you shall stand, saan na ba tayo? Then the Levites shall lay their hands on the heads of the young bulls, and you shall offer one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering to the Lord to make atonement for the Levites. Para mapatawad ang mga Levites sa kanilang mga kasalanan, maging malinis sila. No? So yung una, yung children of Israel, naglay ng hands sa kanila. So syempre, yung dumi ng children of Israel, napunta na ngayon sa Levites. Ngayon, para to make atonement for the Levites, nakuha na nila yung kasalanan o yung kadumihan ng children of Israel, ang mangyayari ngayon, to make atonement for the Levites, mag-offer sila ng sin offering and burnt offering. Ngayon si Jesus Christ, naglay siya ng hands, ulitin ko. Pero si Jesus Christ, He is holy, He is clean. Yung cleanliness niya, yung holiness niya, nakapagpapagaling, naglay siya ng hands, ano nangyari? Na-bless yung mga tao na nilay niya ng hands. No? So, dalawang klase yun. Dalawang klase yun. Ha? Kaya mag-iingat tayo kung sino maglalay ng hands sa atin. Check mo natin, maayos ba tong taong to na maglalay ng hands sa akin? Baka mas mapariwara pa ako. No? So, check natin, ano? Bigyan naman tayo ni Almighty Father ng Holy Spirit ibinigay sa atin. So, meron tayong discerning spirit. Okay? Binigyan tayo ni Almighty Father through the power of the Holy Spirit ng knowledge and wisdom and discerning spirit. And you shall stand before, or you shall stand the Levites before Aaron and his sons, and then offer them like a wave offering to the Lord. Thus you shall separate the Levites from among the children of Israel, and the Levites shall be mine. Inangkin ni Almighty Father ang mga Levites. Kasi sila yung lahi kung saan manggagaling ang priest at saka high priest. Kaya sabi ni Almighty Father, they are mine. Ngayon tayo, nung si Jesus Christ, He died on the cross, ang naging high priest natin, si Jesus Christ, tayo ngayon ang royal priesthood, a holy nation. And after that, the Levites shall go in to service the tabernacle of meeting, so you shall cleanse them and offer them like a wave offering. For they are wholly given to me, or wholly given to me. From among the children of Israel, I have taken them for myself instead of all who open the womb, the firstborn of all the children of Israel. Sa akin ang mga Levites. Sabi ni Almighty Father, instead of the firstborn. So makikita natin na si Abraham hindi naman siya firstborn. Si Isaac, firstborn ba siya ni Abraham? Hindi, pangalawang anak na siya ni Abraham si Isaac. Si Jacob, pangilang anak siya? Pangalawang anak din siya, di ba? Dahil kambal sila. Oh. Si Judah, pangilang anak siya? Pang-apat na anak siya. Hindi siya unang anak ni Leah at saka ni Jacob. So, sino ngayon ang mga firstborn? Lahat tayo, ulitin ko, lahat tayo firstborn. Kasi sabay-sabay tayong ginawa ni Almighty Father. Kaya lang masasabing firstborn na pinili ni Almighty Father kasi pag sinasabing firstborn, nasa kanya na yung nutrients ng magulang, ng kanyang magulang pag firstborn yon. Pag sa tao, no? Pero pag yung Almighty Father, symbolically, pag nagtitiwala tayo sa Kanya, tayo ay firstborn. Nasa sa atin yung Kanyang holiness, yung power, nasa sa atin. Tayo ang firstborn, although hindi tayo firstborn nung pinanganak dito sa mundo. For the firstborn among the children of Israel are mine, both man and beast, on the day that I struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. I sanctified them to myself. I have taken the Levites instead of the firstborn of the children of Israel. And I have given the Levites as a gift to Aaron. Akin ang mga Levites. Sila ang aking mga firstborn instead of the firstborn ng children of Israel. Levites ang akin. Ngayon, ibibigay ko ngayon sila kay Aaron or sa high priest at sa priest. And his sons from among the children of Israel to do the work of for the children of Israel in the tabernacle of meeting. So ang nag-assist sa priest, sa high priest ay Levites. And to make atonement for the children of Israel. Sila rin ang humingi ng kapatawaran for the children of Israel. Kaya nga yung children of Israel, they lay their hands on the Levites. Kasi kung anong kasalanan nila, ipinasad nila sa Levites. And then yung mga Levites naman, they make atonement for the children of Israel. Kaya yung paglalay ng hands, hindi lang basta i-bless mo siya, kundi i-check natin kung sino naglalay ng hands sa atin. Ano? That there be no plague among the children of Israel when the children of Israel come near the sanctuary. Thus Moses and Aaron and all the congregation, thus Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel did to the Levites according to all that the Lord commanded Moses concerning the Levites, so the children of Israel did to them. And the Levites purified themselves and washed their clothes. Naligo sila, nagtanggal sila ng kanilang mga buhok sa buong katawan. Then Aaron presented them like a wave offering before the Lord. And Aaron made atonement for them to cleanse them. So, inoffer sila ni Aaron, the high priest, kay Almighty Father. And after that, the Levites went in to do their work in the tabernacle of meeting. Pwede na silang mag-work sa tabernacle of meeting before Aaron and his sons. Sila yung mga assistant, no, yung priest at saka ng high priest. As the Lord commanded Moses concerning the Levites, so they did to them. Excuse. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This is what pertains to the Levites. Ito ang mga Levites ngayon na from 25 years old and above. Yun, pwede na silang mag-serve sa priest and high priest. One may enter to perform service in the work of the tabernacle of meeting. Yun ang kanilang age. And at the age of 50 years, they must cease performing this work and shall work no more. So, pagdating na 25 years silang pwedeng magtrabaho sa tabernacle of meeting. Kasi 25 years sila mag-start, 50 years dapat, retired na sila, no? Yung root word ng retired, tired na, pagod na, no? Kaya retired na, 50 years na, pagod na. They must cease performing this work and shall work no more. They may minister with their brethren in the tabernacle of meeting to attend to needs, but they themselves shall do no work. Thus you shall do to the Levites regarding their duties. Pwede silang mag-serve sa kanilang brethren sa tabernacle of meeting, mag-assist pa rin. Pero hanggang doon na lang to attend their needs. Pero hindi sila, they themselves shall do no work. Hindi na sila magtatrabaho. Maano lang sila, nag-a-assist lang sila, nakikipag-usap lang, ganon, no? Pero, pag ikaw ay 25 years up to 50 years, nag-a-assist ka sa priest and high priest. Pero, pag lagpas ka na ng 50, sa mga brethren mo na ikaw, mag-a-assist, no? Sometimes, sa labas na. Kung anong dapat gawin. Kasi nga, familiar ang mga Levites kung ano ang gagawin sa tabernacle. Kaya kung may mga gustong magtanong, i-assist ng mga nakakatanda. So si Almighty Father, gusto niya lahat in order. Strict si Almighty Father. So si Moses, nasanay na rin siya. Nasanay na siya magtrabaho para kay Almighty Father. Pag kinakausap niya si Almighty Father, parang friend niya na close sila ni Almighty Father. Napakabait ni Almighty Father. So si Almighty Father, ginawa niya to, it's for us. It's an example for us dahil nung si Jesus Christ, when He started His ministry, ganito ang kanyang ginawa. He served the people. Inilapit niya ang mga tao kay Almighty Father. So itong high priest tsaka yung priest, inilalapit nila ang mga tao kay Almighty Father. Sila ang nagpe-prepare ng mga offerings. Nung si Jesus Christ na, no, i-compare natin, nung si Jesus Christ na, nag-start na siya ng kanyang ministry when He was 30 years old. Alam niya na yung gagawin niya. Hindi nung buhay si Jesus Christ dito sa mundo, buhay pa rin naman siya hanggang ngayon, pero when He was in this world, hindi niya tinatanggalan ng trabaho or hindi siya nakikipagkompetensya sa mga priests and high priest. Ang nangyari, nainggit sa kanya ang mga priests and high priests. Tandaan natin, priests, Pharisees, pare. Yun ang counterpart sa New Covenant ng Pharisees tsaka ng priest, no? Mga Pariseyo. Yun ang nainggit kay Jesus Christ. Na nung time na to, wala pa silang inggit nito. Syempre, habang dumadaan yung araw or yung year, nagbabago ang tao, nagiging selfish. Nakakalimutan nila yung tamang gawin. Kaya yung time na si Jesus Christ ay ipinanganak at nag-start na siya ng kanyang ministry, that's the right time for Him to present the people to the Almighty Father, to introduce the Almighty Father to the children of God. Yun na yung time. And up to now, ang high priest natin, in the order of Melchizedek, si Jesus pa rin. Walang representative. Wala na ang old covenant. It became a better covenant nung dumating, nung si Jesus Christ, when He died on the cross and He rose from the dead. It became a better covenant. Kaya yung tabernacle, di ba? Yung temple na pinagawa ni Ezra and Nehemiah, kasi yung first temple na pinagawa ni Solomon, nasira yon nung time ni Nebuchadnezzar. So itinayo uli yung temple. Ang ginamit ni Almighty Father was ni Ezra and Nehemiah. So may curtain doon, nasira yon yung curtain. Ibig sabihin, punit na yung old covenant, old contract. Ang new contract natin ngayon ay si Jesus Christ. Mas madali na, hindi na natin pang kailangan magpatay ng animals. At yun ay para sa atin, para madali tayong makalapit kay Almighty Father. Thank you, and God loves us all so much.